Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that's going to help you become your best self. And today we are going to be talking about how we need to stop trying to be everything for everyone. But before we jump into that, I do invite you to come over to my Instagram where I am posting on the regular different motivational and inspirational posts, talking about everyday life. And that is at Sabrina Joy Perozzo. And you can find how to spell that in the show notes down below. Also, I do have my email address down there if you prefer a good old-fashioned email. That's great. I read those too. So I would really appreciate if you can just reach out to me, say hi. I'd love to be friends with you. I'd love to chit chat. I'd love to take suggestions, prayer requests, just to say hi, whatever you would like. So today we are talking about stop trying to be everything for everyone. So every day we wake up and decide who we're going to be, kind of like waking up and picking out what we're going to wear that day. Popping into your closet and being like, am I going to wear these jeans or these leggings? Or am I going to wear the boots? Or am I going to wear the bodysuit, the sweater, the flannel? And I feel like a lot of these suggestions really are pushing us into fall, and we're not quite there yet. And if you're listening to this episode like way later in a different season, you're going to be like, what are you talking about? Well, I am definitely recording this right before fall comes because I love fall and I'm already like ready to be there. So anyway, but you're popping into your closet and you're like, what am I going to wear today? It's some people actually go through this exercise every single day thinking about like, who am I going to be today? But how often are we deciding to be someone else because we know it will please someone else in our life? And we're not thinking about ourselves at all, like at all whatsoever. We're thinking about those people that are either at work or those people in our community, our friends, our family, maybe even our partner, our spouse, which is even more dangerous and really sucks because it causes even more relationship problems. You know what I mean? Because we're constantly thinking about what they want and not what we would want. And it's a choice every one of us gets to make on a daily basis because we are in charge of our own feelings. We're in charge of our own feelings, emotions, and how we decide to act. Just in case you weren't aware, just in case you were thinking, no, someone else is making me feel, act, decide these certain things. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I really hope I'm not shattering your hopes and dreams right now, but they're just not. It's all you. It's all us. It's me for me, you for you, Stan for Stan, Margaret for Margaret. Like, it doesn't matter. Everyone for their own. But it's important to note that we, us, all of us listening, are the ones in charge, not anyone else. And this is a message that I like to impart into a lot of different episodes because it's truly important. It's truly important because I feel like it's something that we easily forget. It's the common thought and accusation of being like, you made me upset, or you made me unhappy, or you're not making me happy, or you're not making me feel this, that, and the other, or you told me to do this, or I had to do this, right? We always put all of these, articles in front of like, oh, well, it was you, and it wasn't me, which immediately, you're getting stamped with that victim tag right away, which is, it's not healthy. It's not correct. It's not going to help you grow or change as a person, just FYI. But it also isn't true because, again, we are all in charge of our own feelings, emotions, and how we decide to act. We are in charge. Me, you for you, and not anyone else. And I know it can seem so easy to believe someone else is in charge of what we do and how we're supposed to act, like totally, and what we should do and what we should and shouldn't say. Because we go through an experience where either like someone tells us what to do, and then we do it, right? And that person is happy, right? And it creates a habit. It creates a habit inside us. Another way, and that would be like people pleasing to the very core, to the very minimum. And I definitely suffered from that. And I know a lot of people do. It's like, that's not the point I'm trying to make, right? It's out there. Well, a lot of us struggle with it. It's a fact. But another way it can develop is from having fear in making your own decisions, because of an experience of doing so and it not turning out positively, whatever factors may be involved in that. But yeah, you're making your own decisions. You have a fear of doing so. And leaning on someone else to choose for you or lead you in the direction they believe you should go. So again, you're handing over the reins to somebody else, whether you trust them or not. It's just a lot easier because you're like, listen, this did not work out in the past. We're going to move forward. I'm not going to be responsible because I can't handle the heat. Can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen, right? But it shouldn't be the mindset that we have. It shouldn't be the way that we go. We really need to reconsider what we're doing with our lives here. We're just literally handing them or pushing them to someone else or allowing someone else to take the reins when it's not going to change that much. Like, you might feel more comfortable and more stable because they are coming in and being like, hey, I can do this for you. And you're like, oh, great. 100%, 110%, let's go. And it seems fine in the beginning, but you're going to feel bus rolled as time goes on. You're like, wait. I don't think I really align with that. And they're like, oh, well, you told me that I get to decide what you align with. You told me that I get to make your decisions. You told me that I was in charge of your mindset. I was in charge of your thoughts, your feelings, your expressions, everything. And you're like, but I don't feel this way. And they're like, oh, I don't care. Right? And so you get into this negative situation, whether you put yourself there on purpose or not, and it really sucks, right? And whatever experience drove you there, it doesn't matter because we're all in the same boat where it sucks. It happens. It happened, whether we wanted it to happen or not. And this will happen when we are young children. At least for me, and I feel like a majority of people. Yes, this can happen when you're a little bit older, but I feel like the majority of people, this happens when you're a young child, right? And our parents or guardians are out there demonstrating positive choices for us to make. They're modeling that behavior, but over time, we are supposed to learn how to make our own decisions and be our own person, right? They're modeling like, hey, this is the choice that I'm making. This is the choice that you can make. And, I'm not saying that every single parent or guardian out there is making great choices, is modeling great behavior. Lord knows that my mother did not. And my dad, questionable. So, I'm not saying because I'm sure there's going to be people out there that are like, but Sabrina, my parents sucked. My guardians were terrible. Okay, I get it. So they weren't modeling the best behavior, right? But they're, they think that they're trying their best, right? But I still don't think that's an excuse, okay? I've told you I come from a crappy upbringing. Definitely some highlight moments for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. But some crappy ones, a lot of crappy ones, majority, right? I choose to see the positives. And if that helps you find the joy in your life, that's what I would suggest you do. Okay, back to what we're talking about. But over time, based upon us learning from these adults in our life, we are supposed to learn how to make our own decisions and be our own person. A lot of times it doesn't happen. A lot of times it doesn't happen because they tell us that we make terrible choices or we're not going to be able to do that or we should rely on someone else to do it. I feel like a lot of women typically, at least back when I was growing up, probably lots changed now, where you're told that, hey, just get a man to take care of you and to tell you what to do and how to go about your life. So you didn't have to think about it. So you didn't have to make any hard choices. Terrible advice, by the way. And I'm sure a lot of men go through that where they're like, yeah, find a role model, find someone else to look up to, ask them what you should do what they're doing, right? And I'm sure a lot of times that worked out. I'm sure a lot of times that did not work out. And it's tough because, we're all going to go through these rocky experiences, some harder than others, of course, but we need to be able to find our way out and realize that if we were submitting to someone else, it's not the answer. It's just not. I believe this is going to sound, when I was writing my notes, I was thinking, wow, this is going to sound really cheesy, but I have to say it. I just have to. So there is true beauty in discovering who you are. I truly believe that. Who you are, what you like, what you don't like, making mistakes to learn. those things even more, which is why we shouldn't just thrust it into someone else's hands or allow it to be taken away by someone else. I just truly believe that, because even in my current search to find who I am, what I'm all about, it has been beautiful. It has been fun. It's been hard. It's been sucky at different times, but it's been great. I've really enjoyed it. And it can be so much harder when it's taken away from us, right? When someone else just steps in and they make the decision, like whether it's a friend or a parent or guardian, or it's a partner that just turns on us and decides that, hey, they're gonna do you dirty and tell you how to live your life, or they will threaten you with something, whether it's violence or violence in someone else or any other threat that they can make towards you, to make you align and act as they want you to. And it can be so much harder when it's taken away from us, but we need to endure the fight as much as possible to be our true selves. And that's obviously not going to happen just overnight and really easily, especially if you're in a sticky situation where someone is threatening you, which is the time where you have to ask for help. I know it's tough and it can be really scary and you might feel like your life is in danger. Absolutely. Which is why you really need to reach out to someone that you can trust, that can help you get the help you need, and really can get you into a safer situation. I don't have any better advice than that, other than seeking authorities and also finding someone that you trust. I, fortunately have not been in that situation, but I know many people have. So I encourage you to find the safest person you can to help you navigate that situation and involve the authorities as much as you can without, feeling like you're going to risk your life or a child's life or someone else's. I get it. There's a fine line there. But just in general, if you do have a way out, I encourage you, and you're able to just walk away without risking anything, risking anything besides your pride and friendships and relationships, I encourage you to endure the fight. I truly do, because it's totally worth it to be your true self. Absolute, without a shadow of a doubt. You might not think it now, but think about the freedom that you'll have. Think about all the things that you don't want to do, that you feel like you're forced to do when someone else is in charge, or when you've decided that someone else can make those decisions because you just don't know what to do. And I want you to know that I bring up this whole discussion because it can be the easy choice to just be what someone else wants you to be, right? Super simple, really easy, doesn't take much effort, because you don't really have to think about it or make any critical choices. But what happens, ask yourself, what happens if this person disappears from your life? Whether it's a friend or a family member or, a partner in a relationship. What happens if they just disappear, right? Whether you finally get rid of them or they leave or whatever happens, you will immediately feel lost and confused as to what you should do or be, because you allowed someone else to be the decision maker to dictate who you are. And this is from experience, because, regardless of the fact that I have not been through a specific situation where it was very violent or anything, I've definitely walked away from a situation where those people are gone from my life now. It's okay, those people that were dictating what I should do and how I should act are gone now. And I have no freaking idea what to do next. I'm lost. I don't know what's happening. But that is the risk that we have to take in finding who we are and really becoming our true selves, because we're finally free to actually take the time to figure it out. But I want you to make the hard choice, right? I want you to wake up every single day and be the person you are. And you might not know who that is in the beginning. Absolutely not. I'm still searching. I'm well on my way, but I'm still searching. In the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, more work to do. I didn't want to do more work, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I already did so much work. It just feels like every time you come to an end of working on yourself and finally oh wow, I finally discovered this. I'm finally healed from this. You start from the bottom somewhere else, right? Started from the bottom, now you're here, and it just repeats on repeat. You're listening to that Drake song on repeat. But I want you to wake up every single day and be the person that you are. And you might not know who that is. And, it might take some time to figure out what your true likes and dislikes are, but it will come if you let it. If you actually allow yourself to just be like, okay, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to let it happen. I'm going to be in this journey wholeheartedly ready to go. And, this whole idea for this episode stems around the idea that we live each and every day to be someone that supports someone else and not ourselves. I think it's totally fine. Absolutely, it's totally fine to support someone else in your life, but you also need to be supporting yourselves. You can't just be this one-way street. You can't just be totally focused on this one person and not yourself, because your cup will become dry and empty and crusty and fall over like a red Solo cup at some point, and you'll have no more to give. And then what are you going to do? Because you haven't even poised yourself in the ability to learn how to refill your cup, because you don't know who you are, what you're all about. You don't know nothing. You see what I mean? So it's like, if you are like me, where you want to help people, you want to love people, you want to be there for them, you want to serve them as much as you can, you still have to serve yourself. You just have to. You have to, because you're going to run out of juice. You got to refill that cup. I'm just telling you. So if that is part of who you are and what you're all about, I'm here to tell you that's the truth. But yeah, I just really want to talk about this, because there are so many of us that are out there serving other people, not ourselves, which is a waste of ourselves. It really is. Why are we taking the easy road in life? I really think that by serving someone else and not ourselves, we are taking the easy road. Yes, there may have been heavy and hard times that got you all turned around. That happens to a lot of us. But that doesn't mean we need to hand our whole lives on to someone else to control. And yes, we might really, really appreciate the acceptance, acknowledgement from those around us, because we are doing what they suggested to do, taking their advice, even though it's not something we would do on our own necessarily, but it's still not really you. That's not really you. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't hit it. It's not a vibe, not a mood for you. Not even the real you. Even when you would step outside your comfort zone. Because I know some people will be like, well, they help me step outside my comfort zone. They help me grow myself and become stronger. No. These things don't even align in that category of who you are and what you're all about. So I really wanted to discuss this, because I struggle with this. I know other people that struggle with this. I know I'm not alone. So if this is something that you struggle with, take baby steps each and every day to get from under someone else's thinking, someone else's beliefs, dictation, to fully realize your own, to fully realize who you are, what you're all about, and how you can make your own decisions. Even if it feels really hard in the beginning, yes, you can still get people's opinions, but you really need to weigh whether those opinions align with what you want, what you truly want. Actually ask yourself, wow, what do I want? What feels good? What feels right? You're not always going to make the right choice. I'm just here to tell you that right now. It's totally okay. That's how we learn. It's how we grow. And it's how we change. And it will take time, whether it stems from fear, people pleasing, or something else, but it will take time. Whatever it is, if you just take those baby steps each and every day to finally come into your own, live your life for yourself and not someone else, you'll be so much stronger. And I understand, again, as someone that loves to help and serve and please people, you can still do those things while serving yourself, and you'll do it even better. You'll do it even 10 times better, 100 times better if you serve yourself first. But I want you to know who you are is worth knowing. But others can't get to know that person without you showing up as that true person. And I believe that about every single one of us. You are worth knowing. Believe it. Shout it from the rooftops. Tell your friends you're worth knowing, even if they've decided no, you're not. Yes, you are. They're just wrong. And they don't know. They don't know. And maybe they don't know because you've been pretending to be someone else. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, that one sticks deep with me. It's like, oh crap. These people think I'm one person and I'm not. I'm another. Okay. So I really, 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 really hope this helps someone. I don't have any steps. I just have reminders. I mean, the step is to take baby steps every single day, a little bit more, making your own decisions, making your own choices, figuring out who you are so that you can stop trying to be everything for everyone. But thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. Again, with me, Sabrina. I'm so thrilled and happy to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for listening, downloading, and sharing the show. You're amazing. Again, check the show notes below. Come and say hi to me on Instagram at Sabrina Joy Perozzo or an email. You can send it to realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com. I look forward to those. Thank you. I really, really, really appreciate getting to know you guys. Taking your prayer requests, taking your suggestions, your feedback. I love it. I'm here. I'm living for it. This is my dream. So, and I'm not kidding. It might sound like I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm really not. So, thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a good one, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.